lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to episode 26 of Transport Fever 2 on our small map. Now, in between episode 25 and 26, I have gone ahead, as I discussed at the end of episode 25, and I actually got a little bit carried away. If you remember, I did say I would upgrade some, or the majority of our trains to the new locos, the faster locos with the faster freight wagons on them. As I said, I've got carried away and I do believe I have upgraded all of the fleet. There might be one or two that slipped through the cracks unintentionally, but yes, I do think now all of our trains are sporting either the new diesel or the 76 miles per hour electric train. I can't remember the model. And they've all got the increased capacity, increased speed cargo wagons as lovingly modelled by the MGL train here, as it just rolls past full of grain on the way to the food production plant. What I haven't done is continued the rural passenger service line with a view to obviously creating some villages at some point, so that's not been done yet. I have done a little bit of troubleshooting, so to speak, on one of the lines. We had a bit of an issue up by the Epping Brickworks, where one of the trains was blocking a junction and it caused a deadlock, so nothing could get through, and that train couldn't get through because another train was blocking another junction, and so on and so forth. We've all seen that before. So I think I've solved that now. It came to my attention when the cash flow started going really bad, because obviously we had, I think it was about 3 lines were affected in total, so that was 3 lots of lost income. However, I'm happy to report that it seems to have been sorted out now, thanks to my little tweak that I made. I just put another junction in and it seems to have alleviated the problem. It hasn't repeated itself since, but it's something to definitely keep an eye on, of course. I'm also pleased to report that the modifications I've made to the lines in terms of the vehicles that run on the lines, the locos and the consists, has had a nice impact on our cash flow, and we are making a lot more money, which makes sense. Obviously these new consists, they do have higher capacities and they're also faster, and because I've coupled them with an appropriate locomotive that can utilise the top speed, the 75 miles per hour of the new wagons, we are getting our goods transported across the map a lot faster. What I did notice, and you may notice yourself in the outro, that we had a potential. It didn't actually happen, I don't think, but there was a potential that we could have got stuck behind a 50 mile per hour train, and obviously the one that we were riding on was 75 miles per hour, is 75 miles per hour. So by upgrading the whole fleet, that shouldn't be a problem. We shouldn't be getting held up unnecessarily, and we should be pretty good from here on out. So what's the plan for today then? Well, what I'd like to do is continue getting some lines set up into Herne Bay. Obviously last time around, and excuse the notification there on the smart speaker, I apologise for that. Yeah, in the last one we got the brick sport down here. What I'd like to do is to get the fuel and the food brought in. The food should be relatively straightforward, however the fuel might take a bit of thinking, simply because we are the real estate is at a premium at the fuel refinery, and it's already quite busy down there and quite compact, and we are going to have to put in an extra platform to serve the town of Epping. So that will take some thought, but to start with we will just focus on the food, which, as I said, should be a bit more straightforward. So let's bring up the UI. I've set the calendar speed to 1 times rather than 2 times. Again, we are now in the diesel age, if you will, so I think now's a good time to slow it down. As you can see, account, look at that, 200 million. Obviously I did leave it running with the calendar paused while I was making the modifications, so that's why we built up a bit of a war chest, and cash flow is now into 9 figures, 100 million, which is very nice indeed. Obviously that does fluctuate, we all know that, and we all know the vagaries of how that works. So then let's head to the food processing plant down here. So here's our station. What do we have active at the moment? We have the first 2 platforms that are active, okay, but we do have 3 spare ready to go. And what we're going to do is, well, just to first of all, just to make it a little bit different, I'm going to extend that one just by one track segment, just so it isn't as right angular there. Obviously, it's still right angles. There's no way of getting out of that, but just to mix up the aesthetics somewhat. And this platform here should be long enough with the existing amount of track nodes we have. Of course, we can always add more. But what we do need to do is to connect it into our line. Now, what we don't want to have happen is to have this train here, which is the grain train, I believe, be blocked in by any waiting food trains. Now, as it stands, we have this side platform or this side line here, which can serve as a stabling line. And there's no need to add an extra one. If we have several trains stabled down here, then that's okay, or it should be okay. It's something we'll have to keep an eye on, especially if we're having multiple trains going into each platform. But for the time being, I think what we can do is quite simply just take a line from, let's go from the gantry there, and just bring it into that platform right there. What we do need to do is give them a way to get back over, of course, and that's where things get a little bit more complicated. And I think what we might as well do at this time is actually just get all of these platforms connected in. So if we did something like this, and this one can have its own platform, if you will, or its own runoff, because that'll alleviate any potential bottlenecks and deadlock later. That's too much curvature just there, so we will have to take it back just a touch, or we can take it back the entire way, whichever works. And then after that signal there is we'll just bring this out and we'll have it really short and really slow, just because space is a bit of a premium here. And then that's got its own dedicated stabling line. But what we do need, as I said, is a way to get these trains over. Now, I do think these are one-way signals. So what do we want to do? Well, what we could do is actually have them exit out of this way, swing around. It might be a bit tight on the old curvature, but that's okay, and connect in back up here so they do a loop, so they're not magically rotating through 180 degrees on the platform and turning back out. Could we do that? Well, if we want to do it, we want to try it off this innermost platform, because this is the one that's going to have the tighter radius, isn't it? And it looks like we could. So yeah, we can quite comfortably get that in. So that way, let's do it from the outside now. And now that we know the inner track will work, and we'll have it come out like that. We'll have this one come alongside before merging in. So all of this, there might be some hold-ups here because of course this is going to only be single traffic down here. And let's get that to merge in there like that. So yeah, from here on out we're going to be sharing this track, so there might be some hold-ups right here. But if that's the way it's got to be, then so be it. And if we put ourselves a small stretch, not like that, a small stretch of straight track there, we should be able to get a reasonably straight run-off onto that one without curving in and getting caught up in this really sharp bit there. How does that look? I'd like it to be straighter, but I think it'll work. Well, I suppose we could make it straighter actually if we were to just come back a little bit there. Right, so let's... Can we get straight into there? Okay, so now it's not going to let us do it. Well, let's go there. I think that's as tight as we can get. And does that look a bit straighter, or is it much the same? I think it's much the same. But yeah, this is how our trains will exit the station and rejoin our main freight line. And here we want to have a nice long merge before we get to, just to guarantee we get the high speed, which we have, and we had it a bit further back, but I wanted to make a nice long one on this one. So that will work. That will work quite well actually, I should think. Could we get these to come in as well? Like, for example, could we get this to come in around the back? Where we could. Like that. How does it look? It doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty bad though, doesn't it, actually? Does it look better if we bring it out? Well, can we do this? Can we go to there and then connect? Oh, we can. And what about you? Yeah, that looks ridiculous. Okay, so let's bring it out at a wider angle, a wider loop, and then come in like that. Yeah, I don't see why not. It's something a bit different. And that will our trains automatically... No, they won't auto-update. Oh, no, they do have a way to get back. Okay. Well, what we can do is, if we put some signals down here, we can use them as waypoints to make our trains come out this way. Obviously, we know it is increasing the journey time, but I think we can compensate for that, or we can absorb that. We're doing... I think we're in a strong position to be able to absorb that. So if we put a one-way signal there and there, we don't want one... Well, no, I suppose we can have one there. Yes, it might deadlock this junction, but so be it. Nothing else is coming the opposite way, so it shouldn't cause too much of an issue. And we'll put one there, and one there. And do we want another one on this track? Yeah, because then again, it's going to block the next train in, but it pulls whichever train's taken priority a little bit further forward, and then once that train clears, he can move forward, then the next one can move in, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's fine. So what I want to do now, before we set that line up, is actually just these two. Again, excuse the notification there, or I will do my best to edit it out. So if you didn't hear the notification, then yeah, just ignore what I said, but another notification came through on the smart speaker, which may have been picked up. Anyway, yes, so after the long-eaten food plant, what line are you? You're this one here. We want you to come this way. Yep, and then you're doing... Yeah, that's all fine. We probably want to go ahead and put another signal, and let's use a 4 aspect, about there. And we'll have this one set a little bit further back. So this one has a longer block, so it should take priority. And we'll do that. Now, we shouldn't have anything coming back this way, so we don't really need that signal, but we'll keep it in place anyway because it forms another block on our line. So that's that one taking the loop to return. Let's do the same with the grain. So the MGL train, we want you to come off your platform after long-eaten food plant down here, and it's this waypoint you'll want to be using, my friend. So add station. Actually click it. Can you click the arrow? No, you can't. There we go. So you'll come out that way and rejoin and carry on. That's all good. And then obviously when we do the line to Herne Bay, we'll do the same. We'll guide it out the back of the station, round the loop, and back onto the freight line. And we'll be able to see it in action in a few moments because the Axbridge food delivery train has just arrived into the platform. We might miss it though because of course we're going to be setting up a new line. So we're coming from the long-eaten food plant. We are loading on food. Do you want them full loaded? Yes, we do. And I'll give them a maximum wait time of 5 minutes. That way we shouldn't have deadlock. We might have a bit of delay, but we won't get deadlock. And we want to come out. You're coming out this way. So what platform are we going to put you on? We may as well put you on this one here. So if we tell you to go via this signal just here, then you're coming out the back, and then you're going to come all the way up here, and you want to come into there. And yeah, that's all fine. That's not a problem. Any other platforms is fine as long as it's not the one that is accepting the bricks, which it is not. So that will work. Let's give this a name. Make sure I put the right naming tag on this, RC. And this will be food. And this is from Long Eaton to Herne Bay. I mean, we don't have to put Long Eaton because we only have one food plant on the map anyway, but what the heck, on there we go. Look, he's using the new exit system. Yeah, it's all fine. Obviously, we're not going to get the train yet because there's no demand for food up here, is it? Because we've got no way to get it to where the food's needed in Herne Bay. And how much food do you need? 49. Okie dokie. Right then, so where do you want your food? That's the next question. Let's have a look. Ah, you're just there. Well, we may as well just share this this drop off point right here, which is currently being having goods dropped onto it. Yes, we'll choose that one. So let's go new line. It's going to do something weird here, I am sure, but we'll just have to ignore it. You're loading food, and you're coming out, and you're coming to this one, and then after Stanley Road, we want you to come back this way. Yeah, that's fine. Again, you go in that way to loop around rather than just cutting across the junction. I think that's all to do with going from 4-lane to 2-lane, but what the heck, I can't be bothered to downgrade the road just for the sake of it. Maybe I'll try it off camera and see if it works okay, but it's not the end of the world. It's adding an extra 30 seconds onto the journey, if that, so I think we could absorb that. Anyway, this one is food. No, we'll go Herne Bay food delivery. There we go. Let's get some vehicles, some trucks for this. Now, next going to be the tarpaulin, the generic tarpaulin truck, and the Opel Blitz tarpaulin truck does carry more, so we'll go for the Opel Blitz. We'll go for 6, why not? What colour are you? You're that colour. Herne Bay food delivery. Same colour as a goods delivery line, but yeah, it'll be fine. They're going in opposite directions, so we shouldn't get too confused looking at the lines on the map. And they'll come out and start picking up. Obviously, there's nothing to pick up yet, so they'll be empty for a little while. Right, where's the depot? You're back here somewhere. There you are. Okay, so buy vehicles. What do we want this time? Well, let's just filter it by locos. We're not going that far, so I think we can get away with the NOHAB, as I'm going to call it, AA16. And cargo wagons, we want the box car. And it's 52 per year, so let's overdo it a little bit. Let's go to, in fact, let's have that 78. It's still a good rating. Yeah, it gets up to top speed in a decent enough sort of time. Not the best, but it should be okay. And to start with, we'll just have one of those. I think it should be fine. Colour it the same colour as the line, and then come down here and find the line. Where are you? Food, Long Eaton to Herne Bay. And away we go. So that's food very soon being delivered into Herne Bay. How are you doing in terms of your stockpile? 215. And the MGL has just left. How are you doing on output at the farm? You produce 800 and we're shipping 600 of that. I'm just thinking, shall we duplicate the MGL and have 2 of them? Coming up, oh, what's the delay here? Do we not have any dwarf signals? Nah, I don't think we have any signals in this tunnel. Okay, well, now that we have the dwarf signals, we may as well use them. We'll put a couple of blocks inside this tunnel here, just so the trains aren't waiting back there, as we just saw with the MGL. And we want to be mindful, of course, that the MGL is a fairly long train, so we don't want these blocks to be too short. And I think with 3 blocks in that tunnel should be enough. That'll get him moving, because otherwise he's waiting until the block clears up here, and then if we've got other traffic coming through from the oil well, it's going to take even longer. So it's a good idea just to pull him forward, I think. Yes, what was I saying? Oh yes, duplicate in the MGL. I think that's probably a good idea. How much to duplicate you? It didn't tell me, but yeah, we will duplicate it because we've got a good output at the farm. I think we can have 2 trains without exhausting the supply on the platform and making them wait around excessively. So we'll go with it and we'll see how it performs. Where is our new train? Ah, there you are. You're just waiting for clearance while this oil train gets out of the way. You haven't been coloured. That's lazy of me. Let's colour both of those, shall we? To that dark grey. There we go. And yep, you're now starting to leave. The block is cleared, and then you're going to come down here. I don't know if there's any food waiting for you yet. Oh, there's a little bit. Look, we do have a bit of food. So yeah, it might take a while to get a full load until the full production chain kicks into effect. It has done with the bricks to Herne Bay. We are now picking up a full load every time we depart. You're the one to Long Eaton, the My Little Musical. You're the one to Herne Bay. What's the hold up here? Well, you got plenty. I think it's just the the demand balancing. But yeah, it has had a few full loads, as we can see, because that would still have the lumber, the logs icon, I think is the default icon for the flat car. And because it's all bricks, then it has been filled up with bricks. I know it has, because I've seen it happen while I was adjusting our trains. Yeah, sorry, back to, I just got sidetracked there in my own mind. So we've got the food coming in, that's one. Now the fuel, now as I said, this one could be a little bit more complicated because we're very squished in here. We have a couple of junctions here. In fact, is anything running up there? No. Will we have... Oh no, we might have stuff running up there later. Will we? No. No, we won't. Well, we could, but it would be pointless. Because the freight comes out this way, so I'm thinking, you know, future tool deliveries, would they come this way up here and then reconnect at this junction? But that would be silly. And then we have a perfectly good line right here. So can we get rid of this? Because it's not needed. It was from when we had the our first train was doing a complete circuit, wasn't it? It was picking up the crude, getting the refined, so we don't need that bit, that crossing point. Then it was getting the fuel, then heading there, then heading back to get the crude, or something like that, which we don't need anymore. We don't need it to do that anymore. Right, could we now have this come in a little bit further back here? Well, let's just get that train out of the way. There's nothing else about to come down here, is there? No, there's not. Okay, now let's pause it and let's do this. Let's just see if we can pull this junction back a little bit. So let's go right back to the tunnel. Like that. Relay these tracks. And can you come in a bit... let's get rid of that signal there. Back to the tracks. Right, we might have to have it go across a little bit and then come back on itself, and that does give us a little bit more room to play with here. If you remember before, the switches were right up against one another. Now we have a bit of separation. Hopefully that will be enough to get us an extra line onto some extra platforms. The overlap looks good, so I can accept that without any tweaks, and you can just follow your counterpart rejoin, and that's all good. Signals, let's put a couple down. So we want a one-way signal there. No, that's the wrong side, idiot. Let's try that again. We want it there and there, and you will clear. And let's have one there, and let's put a block there as well, actually. And we will just click in absolutely everywhere at the moment. And there, do we have any dwarfs in the tunnel? No, we don't. We're probably too short for a dwarf signal in there, but we can put a couple just by the tunnel entrance on the opposite side, like that. And let's... well, we don't need any more. That should be okay. So let's think about this then. So what we want, how many... so we need 2 more platforms. We need one for Axbridge and one for Herne Bay. So these 2 out tracks, they're the pass-through. Nothing stops on those. Nothing's going to stop on those. So what we need is to get you to come away. Well, that looks quite nice. With a little gap between the tracks. I quite like that. You to come to about there. And do the same here. Like that. We have a bit of a straight bit here, which is great to put in a diamond. Because the trains need to exit this way. We're not going to do any loopy loops here. We could, but they'd have to go around the houses, which is just unnecessary and ridiculous. So they're now ready, so we should be able to now configure... Why can't I... oh, do I need to put a platform down first? Is that the problem? I thought you could have... why can't... I know what it is, because these aren't station tracks. That's the problem. Right, so... Let's just delete a bit here. Like that. Now can we put a station track in, or will it not allow it because there's going to be a gap? No, so both of those will have to transform to station tracks. I think we can get away with just having one node to extend the station outwards. So let's go like that. And then the rest can be manually laid track like that. And please connect nicely. Oh, yes, you will. That's beautiful. And you? Yes, perfect. Now we should be able to do... Yes, we can. Look. So we need 2 more platforms, so 2 more stretches of track. So let's run this down. And we'll go the full length. Like that. Ah, no. That won't work. Right, what we're going to need to do then is... This is going to look odd, but I think I quite like the idea that I have in mind. If it looks as good as I think it will. We'll have a platform here, then that second approach track, if we can get it to come in down this side, I think that will look quite nice. We'll see. Of course, we need to see if it'll actually work. Because, as you know, these platforms are 2-sided, so that's 1 and 2. So, let's see. Let's close that user interface down. Let's have a look. Can you get from there to there without complaint? If you can... Ah, not quite. I bet you're not far off, though. Well, what we can do is delete that node and that node and just have this outermost extend outwards a bit up this way. Where's the platforms? There they are. Cargo platform, like that. And now we should have enough space to get it in without too much complaint. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. And then just fill in that little gap there. Come on. Are you filled in? Are you... What have I just done there? I don't know. Right, no, you're not. Let's just... let's try it again. And if not, we'll just have to take it back a bit. Ah. I thought it was all going too easily. Let's try it again then. This should work now. There we go. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I think that's an acceptable compromise, what will work and do what we need it to do. No problem with that. Do we want signals here? No, we don't. If we had signal there, it's definitely going to block the junction. And would it cause deadlock? It shouldn't do, but it would stop the long Eaton train from getting in and out, and it won't cause deadlock, in fact, because the supply comes down this way. Oh no, it would cause... No, let's not put signals there. The signals will be the inherent inbuilt station signals then for this. Okay, so that's that. We can start the game again. Oh, well, I've got it that fast. There we go. Okay, so then. So now you are going to come up this way, aren't you? Well, you've got no choice. Do we have pass-through here? No, we don't. Do we want pass-through? More than likely. So, how do we want to bypass the station? Well, I think what we'll do is we'll tap off here, way back in the distance, come through, we'll tunnel underneath the main line here, bypass all the way up, up, and come in somewhere about there. And that'll keep everything away from the oil refinery, which should be okay. And it should be, well, it will be okay, and it's, yeah, just carry on. So what we want is a breakaway crossover here. And let's see, how does that look? That looks horrendous. Let's just fine tune that so the overlap isn't ugly. Bit more back there. Yeah. I don't want it to curve too much because we're then going to curve back and go straight towards the other side of the refinery. But if we do that, and then that signal we had to delete, let's just replace it by putting it there. Yeah, that's okay. And then we want a signal, we'll put that signal there as well for approach that junction. And what we're going to do now is keeping relatively straight. We're going to have to... Can we pass... that's this... Oh, no, we can pass over down here, look. Does it look okay? I think so. No, not quite. It jumps there, doesn't it? Because these two must be at different heights. That's a bit of a shame. Do we have anything running down? Well, we don't even have anything going down that way yet, do we? Tell you what, let's just pretend that isn't there. Just get rid of it. We don't need it. Nothing's active down here. And when we do need it, we can make sure it looks nice and tidy. So let's just get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. And come, where were we then? So yeah, we're coming in this way. Now the crossing should be pretty good. It looks okay. I don't see much of a problem with it. Oh no. Yeah, that's fine. So let's duplicate that in parallel. There we go. And will you tunnel underneath there? Yes, you will. That's beautiful. And there's your counterpart. And then we want to curve you just a little, because we were going to merge in some distance after the refinery yard. And let's bring you out like that. And this is the point, getting towards the bridge, where we want to think about bringing these two back together. What's the height difference? It's not too bad. So we should be able to do this pretty nicely. It'll be a bit slow there, 49.50. Could we get it? Well, we don't want to be too close to that other junction. That's the thing to be mindful of here. So yeah, we'll have it a little bit slower there. But then we should be able to get a decent speed on this one here. What speed? 49. It's probably a little bit too slow, I think. Can we do it that way? Oh, what's that? What's that? That's better. 50. Yeah, 59 is better. So let's do that, and then you come in. Oh, of course, you're going to be silly about... Oh, how's that? Staggered junction. Ah, no, look at that overlap there. Well, let's bring it up. There we go. But then... why? Ah, it's because you're not parallel. No, I don't like that. Oh, look at that overlap as well. That is hideous. I tell you what. Let's get the height of the track. I don't know where the sound's gone. There we go. Not sure what happened to the sound there. So what height are we at over here? Let's just put a... In fact, let's get the junction in first. That'll probably make most sense, wouldn't it? Let's get rid of those signals. We can redo the signal work a little bit later. Let's get this to be as fast as possible. How fast are you going to let me do? 6? Yeah, that's fair. That's fine. And there. And hopefully this will look okay now. I think it should look okay. What's the... Does that look okay? I think it does. Well, we were taking it. And there. Let's now redo the signals here. So let's have one there, one there, and one there. And, oh, you can double up as well. So one there. And then we'll put some blocks in along here. So let's start with a block here. Jump down a bit. Maybe level with the station. Put a block in here. One at the tunnel. Just there. We'll not put one there. We'll put one back here. We will put a block here for the... Oh no, because that then... What we'll do then, we'll have that signal there pulled back to there. That way the trains won't block in the crossing. Do we want another block? Could we... maybe... We'll put that there. And I think that should be good enough for us. Okay then, so with the infrastructure in place, we should now be able to set up the line, and as before, we'll not purchase the train immediately. but we will at least get the line set up to make sure it's going to work okay. You're coming into here. We want you to be orange, and we don't want you on that platform. We want you, shall we say platform number 2? Yeah, why not? So this is now getting quite busy, and you're coming back that way. Yes, you're taking that bypass, you beauty, coming through, and you're coming onto that platform there at Long Eaton, which is available and spare, and everybody's happy. So at Long Eaton, full load again. Let's just go for a 5-minute wait time. Once a production chain gets flowing, 5 minutes should be more than enough to pick up a full load, but if it's not, it should be as near as damn it full. You're not picking up anything in Herne Bay, so I don't need to adjust that one. Give it a name, so RC, and this is fuel freight to Herne Bay. There's absolutely no consistency in the naming logic here, but what the heck. While I'm here, actually, I just want to turn that up, turn that down, and just smooth some of that off there, and maybe some of this here as well. There we go, and do a bit of that. There we go. So that's all fine. So before we get the train, then let's get the truck delivery line set up. So waypoint, no, not waypoints. Truck unload. Where's the fuel? You're up by the bricks. Well, let's have you share with the bricks then, shall we? And what we're going to do is put down some waypoints down here. Let's put a phone box there, and I don't know what you want. Let's see a 70 miles an hour speed sign there, and let's just put a 70 there as well. So we want a new line. You're coming from here. You are orange. You are loading fuel. I don't care if you're full or not. You're on a dedicated platform. You want to come out this way. So you're coming, is that what you're doing there? Yes, okay. Yeah, it's just because it's not going any further than that at the moment, so that's fine. You are using, did we say this one? Or was it, I think it was this one we said, didn't we? The same one as the bricks. Let's just double check where it needed it. Yes, it was the one with the bricks. So back to the line. Add station, add that station, and hopefully then you'll come down this way. You are... should use that waypoint just to make sure. And now you're coming in down there and out down there, okay. And then you're coming out down there. Can we make you go that way, or will it mess it all up? But let's just name the line first. And this is fuel delivery Herne Bay. Right, let's just try a waypoint on this little bit of road right here. Let's put a stop sign there. Go back to that. So that was fuel delivery Herne Bay, I believe we called it. Or was it Herne Bay fuel? Oh no, there it is. So can you come out this way and not be weird about it? You can if you change to platform 4. Yeah, what the heck. That's fine. Okay, so let's get the vehicles. Because it's a specialized good, we should be able to use the tank truck, which is high capacity, then the Opal tank truck. Oh no, it's not. Well, let's use the Opal then. And let's say 6 once again. Color them orange. Fuel delivery. Now we can get the... where's the depot gone? Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Now we can sort the train out. So loco. Let's... do we want the RE44 or the NoHab again? Again, I'm not really fussed about efficiency or anything like that. I'm going to go for the AA16 once again. Cargo, how many do we want? Should we go for about 105? That maintains a good rating. 19, well, just under 20 mil. Let's get that. Colour it orange. Fuel freight to Herne Bay. And away we go. So then, that is, they're not being delivered yet of course, but that's every commodity that Herne Bay currently requires now provided for. How are we doing down here? We are providing these, I think. Are we? Maybe we're not. I thought we were. Do we not have goods and machines coming down here? Yes, we do. What's your problem? Oh, your problem is I've used the wrong chuffing consist when I was upgrading it. Bloody hell. Yeah, it's not gondolas. It's how many? 7 we had, so let's put the same out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was a problem there. That's why that's gone all skewy whiff, because I put the wrong wagon on and they can't put the goods and machinery into the back of the gondola, although I suppose they could, but they would be rolling around and a bit loose. Let's just get some ratchet straps and everybody's happy. Anyway, so yes, long eating is done in terms of its goods supply. Yeah, we're not getting full utilization, and we could be doing better on some of them, and maybe we'll tweak them later on, but for now it's fine. Herne Bay is done, although it will start accepting tools soon enough. Axbridge, it's just fuel and tools still required. Epping, it's just the food. Ah, lovely. So we've almost got our freight infrastructure, our freight lines, not infrastructure, all completed. All we might want to do later on is, like I said, just tweak and maybe try and get a little bit more throughput on them. But in terms of actually getting some supplies in to meet some of the demand, we're in a good place and we're doing exactly that. So I think then we'll end this episode here. Shall we have a ride on? Well, why not the our new fuel train when it gets down here? And we'll run it empty because there's not going to be much waiting for it on its first journey. We've got none. Why do we have none? It might just be a production thing. That okay. If that's just production, then that's fine. Why do we not have any oil down here? Have we deadlocked it? No, we haven't deadlocked anything. It might just be because of how busy it is down here. Where is our other crude oil train? We should have 2. I thought we had 2. We do have 2. Where are you? What on earth are you doing up there? Are you always going that way? No. Oh, was it when I deleted the tracks at the junction by the refinery, perhaps, and that's what's caused the issue there? Oh well, he's that. Yeah, so that dwindling supply here isn't a permanent problem. Hopefully, it's just because the train's gone round the houses to get to where it needs to go. So that should be all good. So what we'll do is, yeah, we'll jump on this train when it starts to leave the fuel refinery. As I said, it's likely going to be empty. That's fine. The first couple of journeys, I'm not too fussed about that. As you know, once it starts making some and they start receiving it, the demand gets pushed up slightly, so the production down here gets pushed up and you're not waiting around as long, so we're all good. So yeah, we'll put a cut in here and we'll join it just as we're leaving the fuel refinery. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to depart the fuel refinery. We're just stuck in a bit of traffic waiting for the tracks ahead to clear, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully, and then we shall be on our way. Here we go. So once again, I hope you have enjoyed this episode and you are continuing to enjoy the series. Any comments that were left in episode 25 I haven't yet seen because, as I mentioned in a couple of episodes ago, this is my week off now. This is the first day of my week off, so I am making the most of it and just doing a couple of back-to-back recording sessions, and I'll get them all edited and scheduled for upload and so forth. So yeah, it's not that I'm ignoring suggestions or comments that you may be leaving on these videos. Just the way I record, I tend to do a batch, and then so it might be 3 to 4 episodes down the line when any suggestions that I reply to get implemented. So you just have to bear with me on that. I'm not ignoring them. But yes, like I said, I hope you have enjoyed it and you're still enjoying the series. As always, comments, suggestions, feedback is always welcome. If anybody wants to come up with a name for any of our trains or vehicles or stations, and go ahead and let me know, and I'll do my best to implement them as always, and I will credit you in the video, or in the first video after the change has taken effect, because like I just said, it could be a couple of episodes after the comment is made if you follow me. But yes, let me know and I'll do what I can for you. For now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is, as always, take very good care of yourselves. It is ta-ta for now.